All righty. Good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Let's sit down and have a cup of tea. My goodness, quenching the anvil here. But yeah, it's a great opportunity where I'm able to touch base with my wonderful community here on YouTube. Oh man, let everyone kind of shuffle on in here and let's have ourselves a cup of tea. You know what I mean? Hope you're all having a great day. I got my good old vintage Star Tours mug from when I was a little kid, getting the crap scared out of me on that ride. But totally worth it, you know. Thanks, Disney. Hey, Ryan, good morning, my friend. It's so good to have you here. Oh, man, yeah, work in the shop is going great. I have a fun little project that actually I need to wrap up today, so maybe a little bit later on we'll do a little bit of forging here in the shop. What do you guys think? It's going to be a lot of fun either way. Either just be through crafting or conversation. Hammer. Oh man, you know what? I can only speak for myself, but so far so good, buddy. Doing great. Ended up going to the lake yesterday after, oh God, it's all just a blur, isn't it? But I had myself a good old time getting some sun out of the lake. That was good. You got some floating in. Hello. Hi, Scout. It's so good to see you. Hey, maybe let me fix you a little bit. There we go. There we go. All right. Yeah. So I'll show you what let me, I'll be right back. So these great big old, 1.25 inch bars need to be turned into rings. I got the ends all forged out, but I have to switch over to the cold forge to finish up those ends to bring everything all together. And I haven't had the cold forge up and running in a bit, so I might do that for you guys, and we could hang out and forge for a little while. Ooh, you like the new videos with the zodiac signs? Oh, that makes me so happy. I'm so stoked to hear that. I'm really it's it's a lot of work and stuff like that, filming everything and editing everything and making sure we got good music for it. So like to hear that you guys are enjoying it warms my heart. That means it makes it all worth it. And I'm stoked. I feel like it's very unifying in a very ununified time, right? We all share the same sky, and that's really cool. Actually, I went and toured the grounds yesterday. Did a lot yesterday, but went and checked them out, and they're looking good. They're really I don't know, growing into their surroundings. You know what I mean? Like that's always a really good feeling when your art starts to feel natural in the space. Does that make any sense? The space starts encompassing it, accepting it. It doesn't seem out of place. It seems like it belongs there. I don't know. Time has a weird way of doing that. Do I love my profession? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, not to say that there's not difficulties sometimes. You know how what's the old adage, do what you love, you never work a day in your life? I think that's a bunch of BS. You work your ass off for what you love. You really put the onion down. You know what I mean? But it makes it worth it. It makes that, deep fatigue worth it when you truly love it, It's a shame you didn't go with flint knapping. There's no shame in that at all. Glass instead could make custom made. No, it's just that I feel like the obsession with flint knapping is just like another fad. Stained glass has been around forever. Stained glass is just so beautiful. There's so much more you could do as opposed to just flint knapping. Because I want it more transparent. Yeah, flint knapping's all the rage for a minute, and then people get tired of it. It's almost like songs on the radio. You'll never ever find me chasing fads. It's just not my deal. There's nothing in that mug? Bullshit. The hell you think you're talking to? Who's the fool? Actually, you know what I do got is some delicious Darjeeling tea. You know it? I'm definitely a coffee guy. Like I definitely need the nitro first thing in the morning. But to get all my gears a spinning at good 2,000 RPMs. But just a nice like I don't know before noon cup of tea. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, we'll be doing some forging here a little bit later on. These just great big old honking rings, and it's not for art or something like that. It's just very utilitarian, and it's for a friend of mine. It's actually for family, but it's so nice to be able to have a trade that you can trade. You know what I mean? It's so nice to be able to barter with skills. That's the original currency. You know what I mean? So it's nice to be able to like help somebody out, and you just never know when you might need help down the road. It's one of the reasons why I'm really excited to teach, even if you don't, do the art of blacksmithing as a career. You certainly can. It's hard, but you can do it. But it's so nice to have steel in your toolbox. You could always work it, right? Like I'm a firm believer that there's no such thing as wasted time, and if you spend some time learning a skill, it'll always come back. It'll always even if it takes years, you'll be in a situation where you need to utilize that skill to get yourself out of a pickle. You know what I mean? It's good stuff. Oh man, yeah, Star Tours. When did Star Tours go away? Because I'm seeing 1986 from Disney. Kind of rad. But I'll tell you what thing. I think I had my first like significant burn from metal with this very mug because it's got this bizarre like metallic, finish on it, and it's got this like really strange like texture to it. It's neat. I guess I could research it, right? But I think the mystery is even more fun, right? Like this came from the stars. This is refined meteorite, obviously. But I microwaved the thing as a kid and just burned the absolute dickens out of myself. You know what I mean? When was your guys' first burn? That's a fun question for chat. Can you remember the first time you actually like really burned your hands on something? Because I feel like that's very polarizing. It's either the gateway into something like a trade or a skill or something like that. You're like, ooh, this is dangerous. I kind of like it. Or it's just like, nope, never doing that ever again. That was awful. What's your first memory of a burn? Because as blacksmiths, we get burned, and that's just kind of comes with the territory. Like, beekeeper gets stung every now and then. And that's okay. Oh, hi Yvonne, so good to see you. I love the movement you always create in your artwork. And Yvonne, that means the world to me. Thank you. It's hard, and I think that's why I like it, because it's hard. It's very challenging to make steel do these things. You know what I mean? I'd love to learn someday to create my own frames for the painting. Oh yeah, heck yeah. No, that would be incredible. As a child, a hot boiler pipe burn. Oh no. As an artist, heated up copper pipe, I was soldering into my baby crib. All right, I could totally see you. Goggles down. I love it. Yeah, I burned myself on a piece of red hot metal. Yeah, Steven. 100%, buddy. Like one of my very first, actually it might have happened before this damn thing, but roasted marshmallows. Roasted marshmallows on a campfire, and we used to use oh gosh, what the heck? Clothes hangers. We'd unwind clothes hangers, and I remember, I was on my 10th s'more. I'm done. But I was riding that sugar high, and we had a good base of coals, right? That fire has been burning like all day, and there's just this like white hot coals. And I remember being a little kid, getting as close as I could, and I remember like liquefying the end of that clothes hanger, and just like watching it get red hot and then start to drip. It was all downhill from there. Oh, what a scout got. Not sure I remember it. I burnt myself on the stove. Yeah. As a kid, my dad made porridge. It's the most European thing ever. The dad made porridge. That's awesome. Did you already answer my question regarding what you think of? Oh, no, I don't believe I did. The new arc of Dragon Prince. Ooh, which is the legacy of the Dragon Prince entitled The Dragon King. And I just missed it. Ooh, I believe I am up to date. I believe I'm up to date. And I think you're talking about maybe Varen's arc, which I've been enjoying all the arcs. There's definitely moments where I'm just like, would that character do X, Y, and Z? No spoilers, obviously. This is a spoiler-free zone, baby. But yeah, I really enjoy. I try not to critique too much because I critique myself and my work constantly. I'm my worst enemy when it comes to my work. No one will ever talk as much crap about ourselves as we will, right? When it comes to other people's art, I try to really look at it with, a positive outlook and things like that, Someone? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Hello. Welcome. Pour yourself a lovely little cozy cup of tea. I know it's summertime, but that doesn't mean we can't have cozy, warm tea as we're about to kind of light up the forges and do a little bit of hot work. It's okay. Let it heat up. It's okay. Oh, yeah, someone. If you're new here, definitely LGBTQ positive around here. I have very close friends in not just online life, but in real life. That are in transition and so on and so forth. That are at my D&D tables. It's great. Everyone's got their own journey. Kendall, it is so good to see you. That's another one of my patrons right there. How my forging project's going? Great. Banister is coming together. Sweet. And, that process, where it's at right now, it takes a long time because it's so formative, right? Like we're dealing with the, not only the utilitarian purpose, like the actual height of the handrail, with the way the handrail moves around the banister and the steps, but that portion always moves so slow because I have to be so careful with my parameters, the way it fits actually into the space. Copper, what the hell are you doing? He's digging around looking for mice or something like that. Hey, you want to say hi? You're looking. Come here. I don't know if you guys can hear him, but he's rustling around. He's digging around the workspace. Come on. Come say hi. Oh, it is Mr. Copper Dog. It's the boy. I'd like to see the baby. No, he's such a stinking good dog, but he is rooting around. It sounded like I have gremlins back there. Yes, Justin, happy Sunday. Dude, the smog? I don't know what you're doing right, man. I don't know if you met somebody at a crossroads or something, but your art is really unbelievable, bud. Like a photograph. Ooh, oh, here we go. Randall, here we go. If you had to pick your favorite project you've done, what would it be? Holy crap, Copper, I don't know. My favorite project? I mean, the Hobbit Door's way up there. The Hobbit Door was, it stretched me in ways that I wasn't prepared for. And I feel like that's when we're doing our best work, is when we're growing. Yeah, it would have to be that one. Oh, I got a sneeze coming. Oh, no. Copper, oh, no. Something's blooming. Oh, I'm new to your channel. What's your channel about? Oh, man. Well, I can't wait to tell you. My channel is all about blacksmithing, but mainly in the art form and expression of just creativity. My goal in life is to get you guys, bringing out your most creative self, because I feel like when we're creative, we're at our best. We're in alignment with our inner child. There's that sense of wonder, sense of awe that we achieve through making, either it be painting, crochet, whatever. Creativity is the bee's knees. It is it. It's the good stuff. It's the ether. So that's what my channel is all about. It's all about creativity, a little, sprinkling a little bit of joy and compassion, and that's it. Love being creative. See, you're gonna fit in just fine here. Odd, how you doing, my friend? Thanks for saying hi. That was an awesome project. Thank you. I really appreciated that. Like that was a hard one for me. And there's been several others, and I'm always trying to challenge like everything that I know with every new big thing that I build, because then you can grow, right? You're giving yourself that opportunity and permission to grow, by taking on a brand new insane project. I think it's healthy to do. Ooh, art helps me when I'm stressed. Yes. My depression is getting bad again. Yeah, absolutely. It's a great coping mechanism. That's actually how I kind of survived. That's how a lot of us have survived. When our surroundings get kind of tough, it's nice to kind of go inward, get inward, and express yourself and create, and then come back out with something new. Oh, certainly. Yeah, someone definitely. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I diagnosed ADHD when I was like but a kid. It was just blatantly obvious. But don't let it define me. It's just, I think it's a good quirk and it helps me out a lot. Oh, I'm not at all technical enough for drafting stuff. Y'all, the 3D artists do. Hey, Kendall, just keep practicing. Hey, you get good at what you practice. You know what I mean? Ooh, you were thinking of getting into smaller form of smithing to make small repair stuff and jewelry. Yeah, yes. You can do so much with just like this in like this much volume. I mean, you can do spoons, ladles, jewelry. I mean, there is so much stuff you can build. It doesn't have to be giant utilitarian works, big architectural sculptures and things like that. Paul, yeah, back in our day, Paul, it was just ADD, you know? This ADHD newfangled stuff, I don't know. Hey, Mythic, it's one of the members. Check out how hot his anvil is. That's awesome. Good afternoon, buddy. Hey, man, so glad to have you here. It's always a pleasure to have you. Oh, man, I need more tea. I'm over here talking too much. What's your guys' favorite tea? If you have one. I tried Golden Nepal, Ancient Forest, all sorts of different types of tea, black teas mainly. But I do love Essentia green tea. That's a good one. That's a hit. But I'll tell you what, Darjeeling is my jam. It's my jam, guys. English breakfast, yeah, Kendall, great, solid choice. I need caffeine, straight up, absolutely. Yeah, like I'm not like for instance, Fortune's Pyre, chamomile, honey, lemon. I love that for you, but I need the juice. I need the essence. I need the caffeine. Nice, yeah. Green tea like Essentia, like a Japanese green tea. I just like a good plain green tea. Sometimes they'll come in like citrus blends and things like that. It's not my jam. I like bitter, astringent, with a little bit of tannins. I'm a wine guy, so I like tannins, that kind of tackiness that you can get. Ooh, see, never got behind mint. I'm a big mint guy, right? I got mint plants. I'll put, slap a little bit of mint in my cocktails and stuff like that. I love me some mint and chip ice cream. But mint tea? I don't know. Never could get behind it. I'm a weirdo. I don't know. Ooh, some Earl Grey. Yeah, absolutely. Without ghost energy drinks. Oh, Mythic, you're one of the. You got your IV of rock, Monster. I almost said Rockstar. Oh man, God, it's good to connect with you guys. This is so fun. It's whenever I'm posting stuff, I feel like I'm shooting it off into the void until I get to like read your comments and then have moments like this for you. It's so fun because I'm usually just kind of filming and it feels like it's just kind of going into the void until I get to hear from you. And then it's so fun. Thoughts on furries? Hey, to each their own, the artwork that goes into those outfits and characters are incredible. I haven't seen much of it, but from what I have seen, unreal. What amazing creativity. But for me, it's not my culture. It's not my culture. I don't understand it very much, you know? Mythic. But recently switched to straight black coffee. There you go. Forgot how good it is. I think straight black coffee is this is the way. This is the way. You know? I don't do any cream or sugar in either my tea or my coffee. I really like it down to the root, right? Almost like when you cook with simple ingredients. You know, you got your vegetables, maybe you have your protein, and you have maybe a starch or something like that, a carbohydrate, and it's all just kind of boiled down and unprocessed, just down to the root thing. I love that. Simple, simple, simple. Life is complicated enough. I like to simplify as much as I possibly can without sugar. Yeah, yeah. This is the way. Absolutely. Oh yeah, like a 90-10. Hey Bob, that's good. Ooh, a good latte. Yeah, sometimes I'll get like something fancy. If I find myself at a coffee shop, you betcha, I'll make do like a cappuccino or something fandangled. Mythic, black coffee is the way. Oh, buddy, you're too kind, but I can like it. I can like it. Oh, that's so cool. I still feel so new to all of this. You know what I mean? Oh man. Hey, is Catherine here? Did I see something? Catherine! Yes, 100% black coffee. Hey, as a teacher, I feel like that's this is the way, right? If you got how old am I? Ooh, I'm in my mid 30s still. That means you sent a lot of messages. I don't understand. I've watched you on and off for some time now. Hey, Randall, well, welcome back, my friend. When time permits, hey, I totally understand that. You know, life is crazy. And it is always satisfying and uplifting. You are very inspirational. That means the world to me. Thank you so much. You know, if anybody has a little excess energy, which I sometimes have, I think it's really important to share it. You know, you can make someone's day very easily just with a little extra juice. You know what I mean? I subbed someone. Welcome. Welcome, my friend. I think you're going to really like it here. And we have a Discord. Please make yourself known in the Discord. And, join our little community. It's a lot of fun here. Ooh, I've been lurking around since the Dragon Prince project. Hey, you're inspiring. Oh, Rainstorm. Well, gosh, lurk no further. Make yourself known. It's so good to see you and hear from you. Yeah, I'm a sculptor. Yeah, I make big crazy stuff out of steel, and of course other materials like. But sometimes it's just boils down to making utilitarian objects like this 1.25 inch bar that I'll be turning into great big rings for a project someone's working on. They need to be super duper 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 strong. So I'll be forging those here in a hot minute. Didn't even mean to do that. But I got the first radiuses started over here on the on the propane forge. But now this diameter is too great to fit in the opening. So I'm going to switch over to the coal forge this morning, finish those out, and I might do that here. I just wanted to, make sure I got to talking to you guys. But once I get in the zone, it's hard to reach me. Ooh, you loved the Iron Oak project. Oh, Rainstorm, that means so much to me. I love that. Yeah. It always made my day when there was a post update. Oh, yeah. That was a fun project. I got more stuff like that coming, actually. Maybe another tree. Another tree that where I'll be able to kind of give back to my community. Stuff like that is really important to me. I'm absolutely grateful I discovered Max early last year. Oh, been keeping my sanity in check. Well, it's a lot of pressure. I'm just teasing. Happy to be here for you, man. Happy to be here for you guys. It's. Do you hear him? Sound off in the chat. Do you hear Copper Dog just rustling around like a little gremlin? I don't know what he's looking for. Yeah, I can't wait either. It's going to be a fun project. We've been in talks. It's super early. It's going to be a way down the road because we got a lot to build. We have so much still to build. Oh my God. Ooh, are trees an inspiration to you? Yes, they are. Yeah, absolutely. Trees are a huge inspiration to me because I feel like, so much when, like Yvonne, when we were talking about flow and how things move, like there's only a couple things that do that. Like you can see a stream where you'll see a little eddy, do a little whirlpool, and you can see just how water likes to move and flow and crash and separate. Huge inspirations to me in my like early development of like my artwork. And now I have kind of a creative voice where I'm always able to just kind of reflect on and go. But wind does that too. And trees, I feel like, are such a good telegraph for wind. You can watch a tree. Do yourself a favor and watch a tree. Maybe give it a hug. I don't know. But just watch a tree and how it moves, because you'll watch how the wind is working its way around it. It's hitting it and then it'll slow down, especially big trees. Big trees, you can see a lot more of the environment it's around, especially if you're in a valley or something like that. And, the wind comes through a funnel and you these big gusts, and then maybe it swirls around the backside a little bit, and they move with the wind. And I find trees deeply inspiring. And growing up on a ranch on like hot summers when we're doing drives or something like that, a tree is sanctuary. Or if it's middle of the winter and it starts pouring down rain on you, a tree is sanctuary. And I feel like now that we're indoors most of the damn time, we've kind of like deviated from how trees mean a lot to us. It's shade, it's shelter, it could be sustenance, right? Either it be from the indigenous peoples in my area with the acorn, the oak trees out here. Trees are really important. And I feel like they still are. It's like kind of in our DNA. It's like baked into our marrow that trees are still important. So building one is a huge honor. It's a lot of fun. If you ever like visit the desert and there's not a tree in sight, I hate it. Some people love the desert. I can't stand it. Trees mean too much to me. Nature's super inspiring. Yes, absolutely. Do I make kinetic sculptures? Absolutely. And I can't wait. Like that's what my future really is buried in kinetic sculptures, either it be through wind or water. There's so many kinetic machines that I cannot wait to put together that are swimming in my head. I can't wait to bring into real life. But yeah, my future, there's a lot of kinetic work in my future coming up. Absolutely. You'd hate it, Oklahoma Panhandle. Oh, probably, buddy. But I bet you the people are pretty awesome. Where I am, evergreens are everywhere. Ooh, yes. Grew up around pines. Absolutely. Yeah, conifers and stuff. Oh, beautiful. They show the invisible. Yes. Yes, when we're talking about telegraphing movement, they show the invisible. It's so true. Almost like a dancer can kind of create emotion through movement, Oh, the Ents and Hoorns. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the horns of like Fangorn. Oh, yeah. Lakes and trees everywhere. Yeah, I actually I was just flown up to Washington, and Washington was just so gorgeous with just such boiling over the pot life. And there's just so much water, so much nutrition for the life out there. Up in Portland and up in Washington, just so beautiful. I love Oregon and that area up there. One of the most relaxing things, laying near a stream under a tree. Absolutely, Rainstorm. Absolutely. Night, hello. Welcome, my friend. We're just having a cup of tea before I fire up the forge. I'm curious if my Wi-Fi will reach the forge right there, because I need to start up the fire. But when I'm forging, there might be some times where I'm waiting for this 1.25 inch bar to heat up, and then coming over over here to the anvil. I'm curious if you guys will have the patience waiting for heats and stuff like that, because I don't have a camera guy to like follow me around the workshop. Hey, flatlands, I feel like they have their own beauty, just like, people can find beauty in the desert. There is beauty everywhere. Poseidon himself, oh, get out of town. No, maybe Hephaestus, perhaps, but it's Poseidon, nah. But I was definitely swimming in the lake yesterday, feeling very much, I think my wife was making fun of me, merman. We can't let that one slip. That like Zoolander just lives in all our minds constantly. You should train Copper Dog to be a camera dog. Oh, no, because all you would see is him rooting around in the steel pile. Copper Dog. Hey, come here. You want to be a camera guy? Copper, you might be stuck. Copper. He's back in there deep. Copper, what are you doing? This dog is so goofy. He's a goofy dog, man. Is this a center for ants? Dude, Ryan, buddy, whenever I build like a 3D model, right? Like I do, sometimes you have to see something in 3 dimensions where, a piece of paper just can't do it justice. It's too 3-dimensional. Pepper, there he is. He got out. But yeah, like I always think of, Zoolander when it comes to that. What is this, a monument for ants? Hey, did you find anything? Come here. Whoa, almost biffed it. Me too, yeah. What do you think, buddy? Did you find anything? Silly dog. Ooh. Have you thought about getting the stand where the camera follows you? Yeah, like I did get one. One that'll like kind of follow me around, but it's hard because I'm moving kind of fair distances around. Isn't it cute? That is 100% genuine Copper Dog. He's been my workshop dog for, well over a decade nowadays. He's getting a little gray in the face, but he's still doing his job just fine. Love him just about more than anything. Nah, he's a good boy. So what do you guys think? Should I fire up the fires? Fire up the forge? Because I'm just about, no, I got plenty of tea in this thing, but maybe one more cup. One more cup. And we'll fire that girl up. Best companions, Randall. Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. He goes everywhere with me. Yeah, he's just, you need yourself a little familiar. Every great wizard has a familiar. Let's get cooking. Forge time. Oh, yeah. Teacup. Isn't the teapot pretty? I love that thing. Okay. All right, let's fire it up. I'm curious. Maybe I can like extend the legs and, take you with me as we kind of fire things up here. Let's see. Can you guys still? No, maybe this way. Maybe that's better. Yeah. Like that? But do you guys still have like reception? Did like the quality go down? Like sound off in the comments. Is the Wi-Fi enough out here? I can't quite tell. Let's see here. I'm going to be down in here. Signal's great. Heck yeah, Ryan. All right, so what I'll be doing is I'm turning this, 100-plus-year-old blower. There's a fan in there, and that blows it underneath the pot. So I'm going to show you that here in a second. And this is all coal. There we go. This is all coal, all right? Big old hunks of from the earth coal. And to start a coal fire, you got to start with a wood fire. So I'm going to just light this thing up. Just like that. Grab my little fire poker here. There we go. Might be too hot for the camera, we'll see. And that'll burn down super fast. Super fast. I'm just gonna start adding in a little bit of coal around the perimeter to start warming up. And this little tool is great because it's like a push-pull sort of situation. I'm gonna stick one right on top. All right, so here's the bars, the 1¼ inch bars that will be forging into a 6-inch ring. We're just letting this heat up. So all of a sudden we went from a wood fire to a coal fire, and now we're looking at a little over 2,000 degrees, and we're looking for about 3,000 here in a little bit. Oh yeah, see we're at forging temp now. I wish you guys can feel it. What I'm doing is I'm getting a lot of coals good and hot. I think I'm about to melt my phone. Let me feel it. Oh yeah, she's piping hot. Someone cue the medieval music. That's right. You're darn right. But yeah, got a good healthy fire going. And what I'm gonna do, place these guys right in there. Just like so. And I'm going to start piling coal over the top of that. I'm going to read the chat. If the stand starts drooping, yep, it's exactly, Randall. All right, just getting this fire good and fired up. Is at present, these bars are almost just about too wide for the actual fire pot in here. So I'm building this thing up so that I can, get a good heat, forge these together a little bit more so that I can start maneuvering them inside the fire pot. Move you a little bit. There we go. There it is. So now I can still read. My veteran, no. No, I've just always been working. Never really had time to do anything else. All right, I got some tongs. And things are really heating up. I'm gonna go 2 at a time here, which is kind of tough without a helper. He's usually an apprentice. Hey, what the heck, Grade A Combat Mythic? You're too kind. You're far too kind, my friend. So usually back in the olden times, an apprentice would be turning this crank and watching the master smith as they were doing their work, you know, learning through observation. Now we're cooking. Okay, so I covered up the bars. What it's pretty much created is a rudimentary, a kind of oven. You know, the coal kind of hardens a shell around the outside, and there's like this, like just a total oven inside of there. Keep it nice and hot. Yeah, of course. You're welcome. And it's hard because currently the forge is out in the sunlight, and it's hard to see heat out in the sunlight. Heat meaning like, oh, is the bar red, yellow, orange? Yeah, now we wait. Raw. Yeah, you can cook a hot dog pretty quick at 3,000 degrees, you know? And then once these bars are good and hot, I'll bring you over to the anvil and I'll give you kind of as close up as I can get it. Hey dude, long time no see. Well, welcome back. Doing a little bit of cold foraging this morning. All right. I'm getting hot. But since this is all 1.25 bar, I want it to soak. I wanted to get in there and soak really nice. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. I'm just joining to see what machine I'm spinning. Well, this machine is over about 100 years old. Pulls oxygen in and puts it into the bottom of the forge. I got these big old honking bars that I'm going to turn into rings for a family member because they need that. Yeah, and we're heating up. We're just heating these bars up, and I'm gonna take them over to the anvil where we're gonna forge them into rings. It's okay. Good old, like this is like kind of old school blacksmith type work, you know? Do I do custom commission work? Yeah. But it's usually big architectural like artwork. Not so much simple stuff like this. I might grab a glove and get my first heat in my hands. Because even though we have tongs and so on and so forth, sometimes being able to handle things with your hand, nothing will beat the dexterity of an actual hand. Even though we got fancy tongs and stuff like that to handle this stuff. Now, even though it's 1.25 bar, I don't need it rip-roaring hot. Like, I could probably forge this stuff with a red heat, because I'm bending it. I'm not drawing the bar out or anything like that, I just want a good soak But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna set you guys up so you guys can get like a good front row seat for the forging. Let's see here. That'll do. That'll probably do, because they'll be on the horn. Yeah, that'll work. Hang out for a second. I'll be back. All right, I'm gonna go with my 8-pound. Okay, now I got my guide here, my circle, a little bit more. Oh, yeah, oh baby, come on. Yeah. Beauta-mungus. I'm trying not to hit the cheeks of this ring too hard, because I don't want to mar them up too bad. I'm just delicately tapping. And the reason I'm using an 8-pound hammer is so that the weight of the hammer continues to drive down. Because I could sit here all day long with a ding, 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 right? A little guy. And all I'm going to do is just beat the surface of the steel up and actually not move anything. You know what I mean? I'm gonna open that up just a tad. Okay. Got another heat coming. All right, here we go. Hot steel. You know, it's kind of fun every now and then to just return back to the basics, you know? Big stuff like this used to be a blacksmith's bread and butter. Big utilitarian honking steel like this, especially for like shipyards and stuff. You know, because each one of these bars, shit, man, it weighs a lot. Just making this ring as true as I can get it. There we go, that did it right there. Now I'm working my way further up the bar. I'm trying to bring these two together. But it looks like my measurements are a little off. But that's okay. I was looking for a 6-inch ID. It looks like I'm going to be a little off. But that's okay. I might just coil it around and then trim my ends so they meet up really, really nice. Know what I mean? It's okay to have a little excess. Okay, I think we are going to definitely be on tongs from now on. Here we go. Now I want these two to miss each other. Let's see, how do I want to achieve that? There we go. Because I want to pass by one another so I can, then trim both sides for the excess. You know what I mean? And then I'll be able to take this flat spot out of there. Steady. All right, glove off. So it feels like I'm making just a big old honkin' pretzel, which is honestly not very far from the truth. Okay, here we go. Always return back to your guide. It's pretty darn good, actually. Hope everyone's doing good out there. All right, now I gotta heat this little area up right here. Zoink, zoink. Never to forget to drink water. That is numero uno. How's chat doing? Ah, yeah. Okay, cool. All right, now let's work on this one. Neglected this one for a minute. You get a good grip on her. There we go. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to shoot these two ends past each other. And I'm looking for a 6-inch ID, internal dimension. Sounds science fictional, you know? The internal dimension. Let's see here. I really want to put some energy on you. Okay, now I just got to perfect that a little bit. What I'll do is I'll snip those ends and use those chunks for something else. Coming in hot. Darn, just use the weight of the iron. Steady. There we go. Now that's looking pretty darn close right there. Yeah. Open up just a tad. Beautimungus. Now I have this fun thing. Kind of use this as a bick. Can't really see what I'm doing. Oh. Did I freeze? Might have froze. But I don't know what that means. Can you at least still hear me? On my screen it froze. I don't know. Audio but frozen video. I don't know what that's all about. Sorry guys, but maybe it'll come back. You never know. Let's keep going. Okay. You guys can't see it, but I have currently a forged ring. And then I can now trim the ends that are all marred up from forging to make this thing like primo and perfect. But of course I'm gonna obsess and do a little bit more work on it. All right. Did video ever come back? Oh, scared me. Sure. Coming in hot. Okay. Still no video on. Oh, goodness. Maybe I'll try to describe just how cool everything is.
There we go.
Nice. What'd you do? Are we back? I can't quite tell. I see me, and that's usually a good sign.
Yeah, you're back.
Nice, good job. Casey saved the day yet again. All right, now we're just doing some final touches on this guy. Ooh. primo on the 6. Now it's about like visual. Does it look right, you know? That also is really important. Boy, hold on to this darn thing these days. Yeah, and then so these passed by each other, right? What I'll do is I'll be able to cut straight down once these cool, and then just twist them together. I need to close this up over here, but then open this guy. We're looking pretty darn good right here. I need a bic, like a big bic. One day. All right, I just got to move that back a little bit. All right, we're up and running. We are super close. Okay. Probably be the last heat for this guy. Ooh, that looks pretty darn good to me. Whoa. Oh, yeah. Hold on, there we go. There she blows. And what I'll do, so you can see this is a big old thing. Now what I'll do is I'll cut right across both these ends because both forging this 1.25 bar mars these quite a bit. So what I'll do is I'll let this thing cool, cut across that, and then much like a chain link or something, I'll let them, is they'll end up being like this, and then I'll put them in alignment, forge weld. Actually, I don't think I'll forge weld. I'll just weld them up so they ain't going nowhere like ever. It'll be the end of the world, and these things will still be doing their job. Sweet. Now, what I could do, I could quench these. I could quench them into water, but this is high, this is relatively high carbon steel, higher carbon steel than your just mild steel A36. So if I were to quench them, I would harden them, and that would eat up my saws and all that stuff. So I'm gonna let these anneal, let them normalize. Last one. Okay. Just looking to tighten this guy up just a skosh. Doesn't need much. Might have done it right there. Right there. Do you still hear copper rustling around? What is he doing? There we go. There's our other lovely circle. Big old honkin' bar. Let's get rid of him. Clean this up a little bit. Okay. Man, I know it's summertime, but if any of you guys were suffering from like, an intense cold streak or a cold snap or something like that, I wish I could just kind of like put this in your guys' home. You could heat a whole home with this darn thing. All right, I'm gonna sit this where I won't touch it. Let these kind of normalize. Actually, let's see how we did with them lined up with each other. That's another really important thing. Like, always be looking. No matter what art form you take place, just always kind of like line stuff up, see how you did. Because I haven't lined these up yet. And fuck, it's almost like I do this for a living. That's fun. Big old honkin' bar. Gotta love it. All right. I'm gonna let my cool, I'm gonna do some stuff with my cool. Actually, come with me. All right, so now that we're done with our coal, I'm gonna open it up so that the coal stops burning. I don't want to burn fuel that I don't need to. You know what I mean? Let this kind of just die out as soon as I possibly can. And there's a clinker right there. All right. Let's hunker back down and continue our conversation. You know what I mean? Where's my teacup? There it is. And you know what's cool about real big hot forging? Is that it'll keep my teacup nice and warm from the anvil. Because the anvil, through thermodynamics, sucked up all that really juicy heat from that big steel. Because, everything wants to be the same temperature, one way or another. Ooh, what fire pot do I have? I built that from scratch with a big semi-truck wheel rotor. One of those big old cast iron things, so it's nice and deep. And it's a homemaker, but for coal, yeah. Cheers, everyone. Hey, happy friggin' Friday or Sunday. My God, I got ahead of myself. It's not even Friday; it's Sunday. But happy Sunday, everybody. It's so good to be able to share this with you and just hang out. You guys have any questions and stuff? But yeah, forging those big old rings, they're for a big dock. Great big dock where like cable and chain will be running through them. So tons of wear. That's why I'm using like higher carbon steel. Yeah, they should do great forever. You know, we're full of questions. Bring them on, Paul. Let's hear them, baby. Actually, I have a question. Awesome. What were you using as a swedge block in the last video? Was it Leo? We just posted Leo. But it could have been something like this. You know, so what it is just two, 3/4 inch plates that I've beveled. And I have a couple of them. I have a couple of different sizes. So I have. All right, let's bring them in. Let's bring them over. Screw it. Actually, you know what? I can bring you to it. Now we're thinking. So I got this big old flywheel. Right now it's on my swedge block, and I have this pin in it because I'm putting this thing through hell, and that helps it just stay, right? Because it wants to buck and go all over the place. But this is just a big old solid flywheel, and I use this curve, hammering dead center, as a bending device. I do the same exact thing with this. Also, I have like a little guy right there. It's a good bending tool. Rings are great bending tool because to make a good bend, you need 3 points of contact. Here's actually a really good visual aid. This little Hardy tool right here. So, let me give you like a little bit of a crash course. All right, so we got this piece of bar, right? Now, I could come over and just try to bend it over here off the end of my anvil, but it's like a teeter-totter. It's hitting me just as much as I'm hitting it. And you can't have that because it's unsustainable. Your left arm is just gonna be beat to the dickens, right? But what you need is 3 points of contact. So let me grab this little Hardy tool I built long ago. 3 points of contact meaning you got two and then you have one, all right? So if I was trying to make like this little radius, well, I wanted to continue that over, I would strike right in here and it's pinched between the two because it has support. You know, like, I'll show you, right? So if I was trying to do a bend right here, I could do it, but I'm feeling all of the energy that this 4-pound hammer is producing. But this way, it's way easier and way easier on me. There's still, of course, vibration because it is still coming up at me, but not with the intensity that it would be otherwise. You always need 3 points of contact. It was like a bow. Am I not answering your question? Like a bow, I'm trying to think. Like a bow and arrow bow? And that was my teacup. Trying to think. Oh, bow. Yeah, it's pretty much that. Maybe there's something else that I'm not thinking of. Yeah, it should be that. You did answer my question. Okay, good. Just wanted to make darn sure, I don't want to be nebulous or anything. Yeah, keep them coming. I love a good question. Yeah, and these big old rings those rings will be cooling down for hours. And if I really wanted to make them soft, because right now that they are every bit of a few, probably they're just below red, 1800 degrees, right? I can make that last nearly a day if I buried them. If I buried them in something and let all of that insulate, it could be buried in ashes, it could be buried in dirt. For Mickey Light, it's a great way to normalize something into a steel. My autocorrect hates me. Oh my gosh. Autocorrect is all of our enemies. Copper Dog, did you find anything yet? He's over there just rooting around as usual. Come here, dude. Who's that good boy? That is 100% genuine Copper Dog. Here he is. There he is. He's a real good boy. But thank you guys for all of your generosity. Like, Mythic, I'm looking at you, buddy. Like, you did not need to do any tips or anything like that. Like, totally unnecessary. I'm here for you guys, not money. Ooh, Catherine, any thoughts on a Christmas time limited release? I love that idea. I need to figure out a good way to get them to you, because shipping and like all of the logistics of that is really tough, especially because I want to be able to send people to like Australia and Europe and all over the place. Oh, Copper's too busy; he can't be bothered. Like I could just do in the United States, but I would hate to do that to all you fans that are all around the world. South Africa, for instance. I know you're in here somewhere. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking about another limited release, especially for a very specific build that I haven't even shown you guys yet. You might have seen it like in the background a couple times, but I've yet to do any content on it, and I'm excited to be able to maybe share a little something with you all. Scout, and I'm thinking about you. Absolutely. Like I want to make sure that everyone has access. I'm a equal access sort of guy. Someone earlier had a question on what's the most technical part of blacksmithing. That's a great question. I instantly think of like really technical tools, and like I think like a good forge weld, like good forge welding. That's a technique that very few blacksmiths actually really get down. You know what I mean? But then I get to thinking like simple. Let's boil this thing down. And I think the best technical thing that anybody could really get down is a good strike. And I'm not talking like hit it hard. I'm talking a good strike. Okay? Like a good strike has many components, and you got to frame it right in your mind and build up some good muscle memory to do a good strike, because being a really powerful blacksmith doesn't mean you have to be really big and strong. It helps, but I've seen tiny people, because a lot of times tiny people have to strike hard through technique versus just raw strength. And I'll see those tiny people move more iron faster, harder, better, more efficient, everything, than a lot of these big people. So I think just really getting your strike down, and if you're physically powerful and you got an amazing technique, you could do anything. You could go anywhere. Because good technique will follow you everywhere. Like even if you're framing a house, if you're putting forms down for concrete, if you're forging iron, like being able to swing a hammer hard and well and accurate, and you could do it all day long. That's the thing I think everybody should kind of put under their belt a little bit. Put that arrow in their quiver, put that feather in their cap. Because it's going to follow you everywhere. And one of the things I like to tell my apprentices, I have an online apprenticeship program. I don't know if you knew that, through Patreon. I'll teach you how to blacksmith if you want me to. I'd be honored. But don't think of, and this is probably a review for a lot of you, but a lot of times people will think like, oh, I'm going to be forging steel. I'm on top of the bar. I'm over it, trying to push down. I'm like kneading it like dough, right? Like I got the pin and I'm rolling the dough out. Hell no. Think of yourself as like ringing a bell, pulling a rope, right? Being underneath something and yanking it down and pretty much letting it go at a certain point. So like when I'm underneath the hammer, it's like this. I'm like using my lat, mainly my back, to sheathe my elbow, and the actual strike kind of just happens naturally. Okay? Think of, so, a lot of times people are holding onto the hammer for too long. Holding onto the hammer means they're trying to pull down or push down as the hammer strikes this material. That'll beat you up. You're going to feel so much vibration and pressure from the work at hand. I like to think of holding my hammer handle, almost like I'm holding a bird. By the time, like here, I'm pulling everything I got. But by the time, like my elbow is, like my shoulder and my arm are parallel with, or perpendicular with the ground, I've let go. I'm almost pulling up at this point. And then once your elbow stops, once your shoulder and arm stops, your elbow will keep going, and then your wrist and all of that. Think of trebuchet versus catapult. It's not this. It's woo, it's this. It's a very fluid motion. Think of yourself as ringing a bell or pulling a rope down for a really good strike. And when I tell you guys strike true, that's what I mean. And like it's all about good technique, very disciplined intention. What we're talking about, guys. Working on a promo video for Trail Life. Hey, that's cool. That's awesome. It's not this, it's woof. Yeah, totally. Yeah, so catapult's just bink. So when people come to, try their hand at blacksmithing, it's this. They're just over the hammer trying to like knead the steel out. Ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you square up. It ain't gonna happen. You're just gonna wear yourself out. That's it. Underneath the hammer, pulling down. And my God, you can move some steel. It's crazy. And if you're naturally gifted with size and strength, that's amazing. But for a lot of your life, you've probably utilized that as a means to win it. Like that's how you do things, is you're just stronger than it. And that's okay. Like I relate to that. But if you are smaller and you're not as physically powerful, learning good technique will put you up there with the best of them. I've seen, I've done a lot of classes. I've done a lot of, I've taught a fair amount of people, and I've seen a lot of newbies swing a hammer for like kind of the first time. And good technique will put you there right, way ahead of everyone else. Oh man. What a good day. I got a little breeze going. It's not too hot. Doing that type of hot work when it's like 110 out. Woof. It's tough. But yeah, I think I'm going to go take myself some lunch. I think we might be breaking some zucchini bread. I'm going to tear that up. It doesn't stand a chance. I'm very excited. I heard the TARDIS earlier. That'd be cool. If you were able to, like, let's say the TARDIS, like teleported right in front of you and a doctor comes out, what is the one question you ask him or them or her? What's the question? What would I ask? It would be fun to be a companion, right? I would love to be a Doctor Who companion. I would enjoy that tremendously. Look, history's fun. History's fun. People are rad. But what would I ask Doctor Who? Do you guys have any questions? Can I come with? Yeah, for 100%. I think that is. Can I go for a ride? Like, can we chill? What would be the best time period for me? Oh, what would be the best time period for me? That's a great question. I think I remember often reminiscing, like, man, when you're starting to learn about like the horrors of the world, like taxes and all sorts, doing just all the stuff it requires to be an adult. I remember just being like, this sucks. Like I should just be in the medieval period, I'd be way happier. But modern medicine and, hygiene and dental work, like, I think right now is pretty slick, especially if you're, somebody that's not a white man, let's be honest. Ooh, it can get a little hairy out there. Oh, no, now is, even though it might seem rough at times, right now is pretty darn good in the grand scheme of things. You know what I mean? Max, I had a question. Please shoot, buddy. But that was a really good one. Air conditioning. Oh, Catherine, totally. Absolutely. Yeah, I can't give up modern medicine 400%. I love the, ooh, yes, absolutely. Cold beer. Oh my God. Warm beer everywhere. I know it was probably like made a little bit different, but yeah, warm beer. Yeah. Nice ice cold. Ice, just ice. I mean, ice was around for a while, If you're next to like a frozen body of water, you had ice. But if you're out here, you're just out of luck. Hello. It's up the chat a little bit. Oh boy, I'll get lost up in there. I'd be fine going to the Viking Age. I know a lot of us would do probably just fine. I'm working on a promo video. I've been waiting. Well, ooh, you've been welding leaves on. Been practicing my forge welding with lilies. Yes, that's great because you have a lot of good surface area for forge welding. Yeah, I would love to go back to ancient Egypt period though. Sounds so fun for, as long as you weren't one of the ones that were pulling the blocks, but just to see how it was built, absolutely. I feel like because I got Scottish heritage. I got a whole lot of it. Like I'm just Heinz 57. I'm just a big old mutt. And I love it. I love being a mutt. My genes were able to cherry pick from a lot of different sources. But I would have loved to have been some like the Pictish people or the ancient Celts, like building Stonehenge. I feel like I ought to fit in a little bit. I don't know. Drinking hot beer and liquor. Oh, mythic. 100%, my friend. Yeah. 1800s in the Wild West. Hoochies. Living on beans. Beans and hot whiskey. Brutal. I'm not sure what group of people it was, but the ancient group of people that lived in the desert and made, icier mount round. Yeah. I really want to teach classes. Teach classes. Any tips? Any tips on teaching classes? I feel, so like it's one thing to do this trade for 20 some odd years and get really stinking good at it. But one thing I've been learning is trying to communicate well and efficiently. I could show someone how to do something, but sometimes I do it too fast and they missed it, or I'm assuming they know more than they actually do and we skip a couple steps. So I think there is just such an art form in teaching. And I'm looking at you, Catherine, the teacher we all needed in school. But being able to reach a student where they're at is an art form in itself. I'm learning. I think I'll be learning that for the rest of my life, is how to reach people, how to intuitively teach them in their specific learning style. Because there's 10, 12 different types of intelligences, right? There's kinesthetic intelligence, there's spatial awareness intelligence, people that can hit a ball with a bat like no one else, analytical intelligence, auditory intelligence. Like there's so many ways you can reach somebody and teach. I think it's really important to, as a mentor, reaching people where they're at. I think I'll be learning that forever. And if I could give you any tip, a tip that I'm trying to learn is to how to reach people. But anyways, I want to wish you all a tremendous and happy Sunday. It's Sunday, not Friday. It's Sunday. But freaking love you guys, man. Don't forget to freaking love each other, okay? Have a tremendous rest of your day. How much you have left, right? Do something kind for someone else. Either be making them a meal or just give them maybe a little shoulder squeezes, a little back massage. I don't know. Do something sweet for your loved ones. They might do something sweet back. You never know. But as copper still roots around at everything, tearing stuff up, I wish you guys a good day. As always, my friends, strike true, and I'll see you later on, okay? Bye-bye.